Hello, folks. This is Ken Rockwell with KenRockwell.com, coming to you live here on KenRockwell.tv, where I am going to unbox my brand new Canon RF 2x mirrorless teleconverter. Oh, it comes with a case, it says. Here's a serial number. This sucker is made in Taiwan, which is that's 3 times the labor cost of China, I'm told. So this is by all means, it's been offshored for some savings of cash, but it certainly is not made in China. Let's take a look. Again, I got this from B&H. I use B&H. I've been using B&H since the 1970s when I first started to shop them instead of my local camera store because the prices were so much better. But I also realized today, see how the box is totally unsealed? Would you buy a bottle of milk or a tub of yogurt? Just a cup of yogurt or a Coke that wasn't sealed? No, of course not. If you go to a store and a guy hands you a camera to play with and he doesn't have a used department, ask him where that camera goes and you're done playing with it. I get sold to the next guy, and legally, it's a used camera once anybody else has touched it outside of the factory, but I don't see them giving discounts, so I would never buy at retail. The key is, if you're in the USA, as I proudly am, you've got a USA certificate here. The serial number here, wow, I got number 147. To be honest, B&H is so good. My 85mm f1.2 DS RF mirrorless lens, whose review is at kenrockwell.com, I got serial number 1. The serial number is like 630000000001. Impressive. B&H is awesome. Anyway, the key is B&H ships all this stuff from a warehouse in a different state than their retail store. So you know when you're getting one of these, nobody's opened it up and fooled around. Just from practical purposes, nobody has the time, and they're all pretty well watched there. It comes with this case. I don't think I've ever had a converter that came with the case, except for the 1.4 times converter. Case is made in Vietnam. That's very sweet of them, although I don't ever know that I use this. To be honest, I store my converters. I mate them together, my 2 and my 1.4 times converters, and store them in my bag as if they're just one lens. But we will see. Hopefully this won't be in violation of any local standards. I realize this is a worldwide broadcast, but I'm going to attempt to mate the 2 times and 1.4 times converters and see if we can use them stacked. And if we can use them stacked, we can store them stacked. This is beautiful. This is packed simply in bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is one of the best kind of insulating materials we know of because these individual bubbles are pillows of air. As you squeeze them, they have more resistance as you squeeze them further. So if you drop this thing off of a telephone pole or a tractor trailer truck or whatever, wrapped in this, it's not going to get damaged within reason. Okay, as expected, here we go. It's a 2 times converter. That's nothing too mysterious. Here's a serial number, which is laser engraved. This is plastic on the outside. This is a very intricate cap. This cap is very deep, so it can swallow. Made in Taiwan is the cap, so the cap can swallow this. These optics should go up the rear of your lens. So this converter will only work with Canon's longer telephoto lenses, like the 800 and 600mm RF lenses. And, of course, future longer lenses to come. It's not going to work with your normal 24 to 105 or lenses like that. And my 100 to 500 RF lens isn't here yet, so I can't tell you if it works with that. But again, for all this video is all fun, but I can't go back and update this live video 3 months in advance. KenRockwell.com is the world's reference for the authoritative response on any of this stuff. I constantly update that every day. So as I learn more, if you want the real story, go to KenRockwell.com. If you just want to be entertained by television here, you know, KenRockwell.tv video is fun. But go to the website. Okay, it's made in Taiwan. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at the size of that rear element. Of course, it's much closer to the sensor than with the with the EF equipment. Okay, let's attempt to breed these. I don't think it's going to work, because we need to have a lot of space in the rear. No. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. We're attempting to stack. Here we are, live on KenRockwell.tv. Or also, I've been in television so long, I also own Rockwell.tv. We'll get you to here. No, whoa. Look at the curvature on that rear element. That is insane. But whoa. The rear element actually pokes out beyond the mont. That means that this rear element, the glass is going to be right up against your sensor, which means it gives the optical engineers the freedom to do whatever they want. Also, these are rubber in the front. This is nice. Canon has been around, certainly, Canon's been around a lot longer than Sony. Canon's been around 10 years longer than Sony. Canon started in the 1930s. Sony started in the 1940s. But Sony was making portable radios and tape recorders back then. They certainly weren't making camera equipment. But the key is, Canon knows what it's doing when it comes to photography. Okay, we can't mount them this way. Can we mount them? No. That's really sad, because that means you can't stack these converters. But guess what? Here's a professional secret. Canon, better than anybody, you get the RF adapter ring, the EF to RF adapter ring, which I have, so I can use all of my EF lenses and my entire EF system, including its teleconverters, work brilliantly So if you're using the 600 or 800 millimeter RF lenses, you have to use these converters because you can't use them with anything EF. But if you have, say, for instance, my EF 100 to 400, I've already tried that. It works brilliantly with my EF converters on the EF to RF adapter, and I can stack the EF adapters. In other words, you can't stack these RF adapters because the beauty of it is the optical performance is going to be off the charts with what they're doing, I'm sure, because it's not so much that they use a lot of glass, but when they give the designers the freedom to use this much glass over such a large range, it gives them so many more options optically that they then can reach an even better solution for even higher performance. However, now, these cannot be used together, but you can certainly use the EF adapters together. And in my review at CanonRockwell.com, I explain which one has to go first. But it's pretty obvious because this has to go up behind of one of the other ones. So that's the scoop. Coming next, I'm going to unbox my 800 millimeter f11 RF lens. But let's take a look at a comment here. I have a comment here. It says, great for 70-200 f2.8. You know, I don't have my RF 70-200 2.8 yet. The real question is if it has enough room in its rear end to accept this optical intrusion. If it does, it should work fine. Most lenses do not. And, you know, that's the trade-off, too, because if you let the designer get the optics close to the sensor, he has more freedom to do what he needs to do. So we'll see. I'm going to open my 800 millimeter f11 next, and then after that, I'm going to get to my R5, which is what I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Thanks again for watching Ken Rockwell, kenrockwell.com, and kenrockwell.tv.